cash in the game. The Mandalorian is great in the new series, and let's check out what's new in the world of pop culture with your hosts John, Tim, and Quentin, and a podcast we call Rewind
and Reload.
Hi there, I'm John Arbuckle. I'm a cartoonist, and this is my cat, Garfield.
Hi there, I'm Garfield. I'm a cat, and this is my cartoonist, John.
Our only thought is to entertain you.
Feed me.
Well, I hope...
I'm normal.
Oh my god. Well, I hope that confused pretty much everyone out there. And maybe from that, you'll figure out what our topic is today. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Rewind and Reload. Once again, I am joined by Quentin.
Hello.
And Tim.
I'm normal.
So, let's let our audience sink in on that intro and Tim's beautiful normal. And we'll let them try to guess what the topic is for now, but let's talk about our weeks, man. What were you up to this week, Q?
I am a filthy fucking degenerate, and basically all I've been doing is just playing Call of Duty. I have a problem. I have a really big problem. I'm like, I think level 50 now.
Yeah, what prestige are you?
There is no prestige in this game.
Dude, what? I was playing them.
Level 150 is the cap. I'm pretty close to getting gold on my M4. I only need like a handful more skins or camos, whatever they're called. That game is really good, and I hate it because when I was in high school, I just absolutely fucking hated the COD franchise. I despised it with a passion, and now here I am, a 23-year-old hypocrite.
I haven't gotten to play any of the multiplayer yet. I was going to play it this week, but we're watching Carly's little brother this week, so my Xbox is at home.
Go get that fucking Xbox, boy. You're missing out on prime time gaming.
I know. I might go get it tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah,
Get yourself a Mountain Dew ski and make up for lost time.
Get a Dorit ski.
I just downed a monster, so call me Kyle.
Kyle is on the rest of the night. No more John.
There is
It's
only
gonna get confusing,
Kyle.
so if we call this John Kyle, he won't think we're talking about him. Spoilers, maybe.
There's just going to be one episode where I'll act like we'll just call me a totally different name. And people will be so thrown off. I'll change my voice a little bit and
Oh, you mean me
later.
every week on the Backdash? Where I have to make up some character because I make a joke and then Alex is like, oh, I didn't know he was here. But anyway, I didn't really do a lot this week. Nah, I just kind of played more Graveyard Keeper. And I guess I started watching the show Castle Rock on Hulu. That's something, I guess.
How's that?
It's if you like Stephen King, it's good, I'd say. Because it's nothing but references to the books and movies. There's literally a character who you find out later is related to the character from The Shining named Jackie Torrance. I just fucking rolled my eyes and I was like, okay, cool.
Did you see the previews for, what was it, Dr. Sleep or whatever?
I did, but I haven't seen the movie. I've also seen the Stephen King's comments on it that it redeems the Kubrick movie, as if it wasn't good already. But for as good of an author as he is, he makes shit movies. So
Yes, that's true.
like the monster truck movie, I don't remember what it was called, but it's really bad.
He has a movie about a monster truck?
It's basically a movie about I don't remember if it's like supernatural. I think it's supernatural. Like ghosts possess a bunch of cars and like terrorize this diner or something. And it's a really dumb movie.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to look it up and then give it a watch because I have never heard that.
I'm trying to find the name of the movie and I can't. Is it just called Trucks? No, that's a short story. Oh, Maximum Overdrive. That's the name of the movie.
All right, I'm gonna have to try to find that somewhere where I can just stream and watch it real quick.
I mean, probably. I don't know.
Is it worth it? Who knows?
Carly's little brother keeps screaming like an idiot because I think he's playing COD and he might be dying.
Oh,
it's fine. It's alright.
It's all good. You're just gonna hear like a 15-year-old boy.
It sounds like
screaming.
2011. Sounds like 2011 goat memes.
It does actually.
That's what I thought it was. I was like, why is he playing on the background? And then it's just him.
Nope, it's just Colin. Anyways, that's exactly what I've been up to all week. Me and Carly have been hanging out with her little brother because her parents and then my dad and his wife were out in Mexico. So we're just hanging out here, watching him. That's really about it. I've just been like watching a lot of YouTube videos, really. That's really it. So.
It's my life all the time.
Yeah, I think my like hours per like day per watch like went up like 10 hours. Like it's a ridiculous amount.
I just watch it in the background, so I guess I can't make too much of a comment.
But anyways, I mean, yeah, so I guess kind of boring weeks. We should probably try to do something exciting one of these days, huh?
No.
Get together and like do something fun.
I think getting my M4 to gold in Call of Duty is pretty fun.
Well, that's fair. That is.
Why don't you use the AK?
The M4 is better.
Use the Olympia, man.
Is the AK like every other game where it has a kick that just hurts to compensate for?
It's pretty bad. It's not too bad. I don't know. The M4 is just like pretty much the best gun in the game. That's besides the point. That's
a discussion for a Call of Duty cast.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't think of a clever title.
We'll probably end up doing it here pretty soon. But we should probably get into today's topic before we go off on too big of a tangent, huh?
Probably.
Well, hopefully everyone kind of got what our topic is today based off of the intro. Today's all about this sarcastic talking, lasagna eating, cat we know, cat we love, Garfield. And we'll talk about some other people too, like John, or maybe the creator, Jim Davis. But I know, Q, you've been wanting, you recommended doing Garfield because you're, lack of a better term, obsessed with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know where it all started, but here I am. Man who loves his cat. I could probably tell you way too much about Garfield, but I think we'll just focus on some of the important stuff today, right?
Yeah, I think let's maybe start with just the creator. Go through kind of like him and his background, and then we'll move into the cartoons, which I know you're probably gonna just go bananas on. And then I think we'll talk about maybe the movies for a few too, because
yes,
they were something.
Not good.
Just say they were something. So to start off, the creator of Garfield, Jim Davis, he started Garfield in 1978, but a little bit of background on him. He grew up on a farm, which in an interview, you said you remember it being full of like stray cats and stuff. And this was some of the inspiration he pulled for Garfield is growing up around all these cats.
I've heard that there was 25 cats on the farm, actually.
That's a lot. Of cats.
Yeah. Like, even for, like,
I would
farm
die.
cats, you know? Like, even... I get that, you know, you live on a farm, you have some feral cats, but, like, 25, dude? Holy fuck.
How many do you think were inbred?
Probably all of them.
Probably a lot, but I
all
don't know.
but 2 of them.
Yeah.
But this farm was in Marion, Indiana, which is about 2 hours away from where we're recording currently. He was born in 1945. He later attended.
Okay, boomer.
He later attended Ball State University. He studied art, obviously, and he also studied business as well. While he was at Ball State, he joined a frat, so he was a good old frat boy. And it was Theta Xi, I think is how you pronounce the frat's name. I don't know. Frats are irrelevant anymore.
Did Key? I don't know how to pronounce Greek letters.
I don't either. I don't really care.
Yeah. I would say I don't really care about
What
the
is
frat
Xi,
pronunciation.
Sorry, I did a quick Google search on it to make sure.
Real quick, though, when you say he studied art, he didn't get a degree in art by any means. He started off as an art major, and then when he was like, "Well, I don't really want to deal with any of this. I just want to draw," he then switched to business, and he has a degree in business.
It's like another important figure from 1945, and I can't think of the name of it. Anyway.
Well, anyways, once he started as a cartoonist, he first worked as a cartoonist assisting Tom Ryan on the cartoon Tumbleweeds in 1969. He then went to create his own comic, Gnome Gat, or Norm Hat. Oh. And attempted selling it after running for 3 years.
That gnome kept that motherfucking thing on him.
I believe it was Gnome Nat.
That's what I think it was too. That makes sense.
See, I like the idea of a gnome with a gat.
Yeah, no, because it was this comic about like a gnat. Obviously, the only gag I can remember from it is it was like really stupid, really dry humor, kind of a lot like how Garfield is. But like there was the only one I can think of is there was this one with the gnat holding a sign that said, "The end is afoot," and then the last panel is he gets stepped on with a boot. Get it?
That's
the end
pretty.
Is a foot.
That's pretty good. Well, actually, speaking of some of that, he actually didn't sell this because he was told that like the art and jokes were great, but no one likes or wants to relate to bugs, so they wouldn't buy it.
Somebody I don't know the exact person, but from what he said, like somebody who was like somebody he respected and someone who was respected in like the comic industry. Do we call this the comic industry? I don't know. The Sunday Funny industry told him to do a thing about bugs, and then after he got all this prepared, that's when the bug idea got shot down by everyone else. Stan Lee was the one who told him to make a bug one.
"Oh, my friend Jim's failed, so I have to make one for myself." And that's how Spider-Man was born.
And Ant-Man.
I forgot about Ant-Man. How many other insect heroes are there in Marvel?
The Wasp.
Yes, that's 3. Anyway.
Mantis.
4.
The Blue Beetle.
No, that's DC.
Yeah, I realized after I said it.
Anyways, we could go on and on, I'm sure. But him being told this after he was trying to sell it, he did go back to the drawing board and took note actually of Snoopy. And he always believed that animals were like very, very funny. And he wanted to do something with animals, but he noticed that there was a lot of dogs that were being put into comics. So he figured that he'd start doing cats. So in 1978, he created John, which later was retitled as Garfield. So
you're telling me that it went from a character who almost nobody likes to a character who almost everybody likes. Because he don't like Mondays, and he does like lasagna.
And it only took, I think, 2 years for them to rebrand the name. So it was pretty quick. His later life, he now like owns Paw Inc., which employs a roughly 50 cartoonists and administrators. And this is to help come up with all the comics still, but also manage the immense licensing and the empire that Garfield has become.
Sorry, I just had the image of, I don't know, the goofy old man that Jim Davis is being like, I'm in the empire business.
I mean, he is, though. Like, it's a huge thing nowadays. So, I mean, you go into, like, convenience stores and Garfield's on, like, lighters and keychains now. He's everywhere.
Just off of merchandising alone, Paws Inc. has made over $1 billion.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Like, these are real stats. There was, at one point, I forget the time frame, but I want to say it was like the 70s, where the Garfield with the suction cup hands that you put on your car window, and those are really popular. Like, everywhere would, like, sell the fuck out of them because everybody fucking wanted this Garfield plushie, and people were, like, breaking into people's cars for this thing. Like, this Garfield merch does not, like, people don't mess around. This is some real shit.
Is that why you can't find the Garfield phone for anything less than $200 on eBay?
Probably. The same Garfield phone that, like, a bunch of them washed up on,
yes,
I think it was, like,
exactly.
a French beach?
I think so, yeah.
Was that with Garbage Island?
No. It was there was a shipping container containing like a bunch of these plastic Garfield shaped phones. I think they were like rotary phones or whatever. And
I think they're number. Well, at least the ones I'm looking at are number pads.
Okay, so yeah,
I misspoke. They are very readily available on eBay for like $20, $30 maybe.
Well, I'm gonna have to cop one. But yeah, no, there's a shipping container filled with these things, and it fell off of a boat, and it's been at the bottom of the ocean, and there's been Garfield phones just washing up ashore on this one beach.
Yeah.
That's
for a while.
Story. I love it.
For a while, they had no fucking clue like where these were coming from, but I think it was within the past couple years, like a scuba diver or something found like the shipping container.
That's so weird.
Voyage.
Well, just keep on waiting, dude. There's going to be even weirder Garfield facts for you.
Well, we'll get to that. But to finish up Paws Inc., it still resides in Indiana, Albany, Indiana, to be more specific. Jim Davis has also been noted for creating U.S. Acres, and it was also known as Orson Farms in other countries.
U.S. Acres bad.
That's what I've heard. He also has a comic strip based around Mr. Potato Head. I've never seen this.
That. I've never heard of that. That's wild.
I don't really like Mr. Potato Head, so...
But he have funny Lay's commercials.
He funny. His eyes come out of his head.
They put face on butt. Sex funny.
I hate you.
Sorry, I spent a couple hours on our boomer humor this week.
That's a slur word now. Be careful.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, boomer. It's on record. I love that, just real quickly, love that it's on record in the New Zealand Parliament.
Is it really? Holy fuck.
There was a 25-year-old Parliament member 2 days ago who was giving a speech on environmental change, and someone started heckling her from the other side of Parliament, and she just, in the middle of her speech, she just goes, "Okay, boomer," and then keeps going.
That's a great way to just prove your point. It's like, all right, boomer.
The best part is that she was in the point where she's like, "I'm 25 years old. The median age of the Parliament is 52," and it's like, then someone heckles her, and she just says that, and I'm like, oh my god, what a
That's
hero.
Awesome. Well, to finish up Jim Davis, he also founded Professor Garfield Foundation, which helps in children's literacy. So it's not just that they're like building this huge empire and like, you know, selling all this stuff. They're also donating a bunch of money to help get kids to be able to read and get them resources that they need to better educate themselves as well. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, from like a lot of the stuff I've heard, like Jim Davis is actually a pretty like good guy.
Yeah.
Which surprises me.
He's just a weirdo.
Yeah, he's kind of weird, but he's like a legitimately, I think he's a good person. Which usually when somebody has a fucking $1 billion industry, they're usually not. But shout out Jim Davis.
Yeah. Keeping to his roots. So like I said earlier, like now we're going to get a little bit into the comic history and the evolution. And so like I said before, the comic was originally published as John, but then after 2 years, which like seems like actually a pretty long time, honestly, to be out there, was renamed as Garfield, and it's been known as Garfield ever since. So, I don't know. I think Garfield's probably the better way to go.
Well, when you have a dumb idiot like John who lets his cat smoke a pipe.
Yeah,
hey,
that's true.
With the man.
He doesn't let the cat smoke the pipe. Garfield just takes it. Thank you very much. He yells at him for smoking.
He's just trying to get a buzz, bro.
This is in reference to the classic. Actually, yeah, no, classic, because it's a very old Garfield strip where the first pipe is John reading the newspaper and then reaching for his pipe. Second strip, oh, where's my pipe? Third strip, it's Garfield sitting on the counter smoking the pipe, and then John goes, "Garfield!"
What a bitch.
I can't find it, but I remember a while ago when people started finding out about this on the internet, someone did a redraw of it where it's just Garfield taking a rip from a giant vape.
Where's my vape?
He was
Garfield.
drooling.
Oh.
But anyways, so in the comics, originally it was just Garfield and John, but later he also has, which is noted as his arch enemy, but also his best friend, Odie.
Die.
But Quentin, I think you have a little bit more to talk about some of this stuff, maybe about the characters and stuff.
Yes. So, little fun facts about everyone's names. Garfield was named after Jim's grandfather, James A. Garfield Davis. John Arbuckle, his name comes from an old coffee commercial, but Jim also used the name John Arbuckle in his college days as a expert source for his speeches, because for some reason he thought John Arbuckle sounds like a very professional name, and this will help give credibility to me.
I want to point out that, like, I mean, you can't do that anymore with Google, but that's such a smart thing to do back then. Because, like, they wouldn't know no one would know any better.
Yeah.
You have to go dig through the library to try to find it.
Yeah, and if professors are the same way they are today, no one would have. They want to get through those classes just as bad as we do.
Jim's a resourceful man. He knows what he's doing.
He's, yep.
Last but not least, we can't forget about our friend Odie. He was based on a car dealership commercial written by Davis. This commercial featured a character named Odie the Village Idiot. So, not only did Odie get his name from the commercial, I'm assuming he also got a little bit of his personality. Because Odie is oftentimes the village idiot, in a sense, or the butt of a joke.
Yeah, that's true.
Or sometimes his butt is the joke, because Garfield likes to kick it. Funny, haha.
Violence funny.
Get off table, dog.
If anything, the Garfield comics do adhere to a very simple equation, but that's the beauty of it, man. It's just stupid. Nobody has any real reason for liking Garfield. You just kind of do. Artistically, our favorite Lasagna cat, which also, fun fact, garlic is very toxic to cats, so they can't eat lasagna.
Unless you just don't put it in there.
What about the cheese, though? Cheese is also bad for cats.
That's fair. It's also bad for me, fun fact.
You and the cat will both have the same issue. Shit your brains out. So I don't know where fucking Jim got that from. Anyways, he's seen some changes over time. The real reason for this is because the size of comic strips and newspapers have gotten smaller over the years. So they made Garfield's eyes and mouth bigger so he could be a little bit more expressible. But fucking Jim Davis, that weird fucking
crazy kooky
guy that he is, he claims that the eyes are the nearest to the soul. So over the years, his eyes have gotten bigger and bigger. That is a direct quote from him. Another good direct quote from him. Garfield is a human in a cat suit. He has all the human feelings. That's why we identify with him so well.
So Garfield's a furry?
Yes.
Which, nothing wrong with that, but I don't think Jim Davis knew what he was in for when he said that.
He's unleashed a whole bag of worms he was not ready for.
I mean, Garfield is someone's persona.
It's mine.
Oh, it's Jim Davis's.
Maybe he does know.
He knows what's up.
Anyways, I think you got a couple comics coming up that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so Jim has always had this idea of if you can be inoffensive, that's the best way to be. Like, he always tries to keep politics out of Garfield, which, I mean, yeah, Garfield.
But what about the time that Garfield tried to ship Nermal to Abu Dhabi?
There's no politics in that. That's just one cat hating another cat.
That's just a commentary on the war crimes committed.
is it
It's
now?
fine.
Can you back that statement up, sir?
Yeah, Jim Davis said so in Lasagna Cat episode 34.
Talk about Lasagna Cat in a little bit. We gotta get through.
We gotta
Canon,
work up to that.
Garfield. Yeah, we gotta prepare the people. But Garfield, like everything else, can't not offend at all times. One perfect example of this was the National Stupid Day strip. This strip was published on November 11th, 2010, which we know is Veterans Day. This strip features Garfield squashing a spider. So the first panel, the spider's sitting down there and he's saying, "If you squash me, I'll become famous." The second panel says, "They will hold an annual day of remembrance in my honor, you fat slob." And then it is implied that the spider gets squashed. Third panel, there's a spider in a classroom with a thought bubble going, "Does anyone here know why we celebrate National Stupid Day?" So,
Oh boy. Jim, what are you doing?
veterans were obviously upset about this. Jim Davis is like, "Whoa, no. Like, I have a brother who was in the army. Like, it's nothing like that." The way that the Garfield comic strips work is that Jim will set aside, because obviously, he needs to balance between the art and the business of Garfield. So he sets aside 1 week every month where he just does like all of the strips for the month in a week. He doesn't really plan what days they'll fall on. So it's just a very, very unfortunate happenstance that National Stupid Day was published on Veterans Day.
I just think it's...
It kind of reminds me of the Family Guy episode where Peter becomes like a comic writer for the newspaper and does like a National Women's Day one, and they get ran out of fucking town. I feel like they might have pulled a little bit of inspiration from this exact happening, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not
considering
sure.
how creative of a writer Seth MacFarlane is, I wouldn't be surprised.
Garfield, the presence of Garfield stretches everywhere. So if it happened to inspire Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be either.
Surprised. I would be more surprised if Seth MacFarlane was never inspired by Garfield, because I'd say 9 out of 10 people in America have been inspired by Garfield in one way or another. I know that's a bold claim. I know it's a bold claim, but hear me out. Man's got a 95% Q score. Q score is a score given to things in pop culture for their popularity. The 95% score means 9.5 out of 10 people know who Garfield is in America.
Who's the half a person?
It's just like an average. So they do it
No,
out of 100.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Just some fucker with no arms or legs. It's like
I know who
enjoying the
Garfield
shit
is.
out of
Just some poor
Garfield.
quadriplegic. He doesn't understand what Garfield is.
Yes.
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Not to imply that those people are half a person. You're a whole person, and you deserve a whole vote. And you have one.
It's just part of a joke. So
It's just a bit.
yes.
Don't run us out of Hollywood for this 10 years down the line.
We're done
We're
for.
gonna
Our careers
we're gonna
are
be like
over.
James Gunn or something, where people find like our old podcasts and they're like, these guys
no one
are.
listens to episode 1 of the Backdash, or my first episode of the Backdash. Cool boy.
Well, you're pretty tame on this episode, like on this podcast. So
I try. So, you know what's not tame? I'll talk about this one. Yep.
Yeah.
Drinking dog semen. Another one of the more infamous strips is a strip in which John drinks a cup of dog semen. Jim has claimed that there was a protein-enriched drink they would give to cows to help keeping the calves healthier when they were pregnant. So he assumed there was something like that for dogs, which he says that's what John is drinking, and not dog semen. But we all know.
We all know. This one actually, this one got really infamous to the point where BuzzFeed interviewed him about it.
Should we break down the strip because it makes it very clear.
Oh yeah.
The first panel it just says it's John saying, "I assume Garfield is at the vet." It seems to be.
Yeah, Liz is a veterinarian,
right?
Who he's always trying to hit on.
Yeah, he says, "Have a cup of coffee, John." I assume he's talking for Liz, and then he says, "Why, thanks. Don't mind if I do." He picks up a cup off the examination table, chugs that bad boy down, and then Liz says, "Congratulations, Mr. Arbuckle. You're going to give birth to a fine, healthy litter of puppies." And then John looks like he's going to throw up, and Garfield has his thought bubble says, "I hate puppies."
But not to mention how wide Garfield's eyes are.
Yes.
And also how Liz just looks like, yeah, you deserved that.
Yeah. That's the last panel of this one is just he's drinking dog semen.
It's that coom. You used to be able to buy large prints of any Garfield comic off of the Paws Inc. website, but after this one became such a big meme, it was taken off the website. You can't buy it off there anymore. But they did this real quietly. It was just kind of randomly one day. You weren't able to buy it anymore.
There's got to be some out there.
Oh yeah, no. I know of one person who owns one. Just on Twitter, I've seen it.
Nice.
And I'm very jealous of him. I think I need John drinking dog semen on my walls.
Can you buy the National Stupid Day one?
I think so. I haven't looked.
I feel like his, explanation would have been a lot more accepted than that there's a protein-based drink that they give to the cat or to cows, and he assumed that there was one for dogs. Also, when you say it's protein-based, come on, Jim.
Come on. Now you're really doubling down. It's definitely cum.
Dude. John Arbuckle's a coomer.
He's a coomer.
Boomer coomer.
Nah, dude, there's boomers, doomers, zoomers, and coomers.
And coomers.
I feel like that was just ad-lib.
That wasn't. There's a webcomic starring these characters.
Wow. That's even more impressive that you didn't ad-lib that to me, actually. That is an actual real thing.
The meme, it's a silly meme comic, but it's exactly what you would expect. He's one who cooms.
So, to get off of coomers, it wouldn't be a correct episode if we didn't shit talk a little bit on Garfield as well. Because I think unanimously we all enjoy Garfield, or have in the past,
I would say I do in some ways.
Yeah, I feel like, because I don't really read the newspaper.
In Garfield.
Yeah, I don't really read the newspaper, but when I do see a Garfield comic, I chuckle, And I feel like it's just so much part of our culture now that some of us tend to just kind of ignore it. But we also kind of need to shit talk it a little bit, because what the fuck were they doing with these movies?
Well,
you mean the Holy Trinity?
It was the mid-aughts, and 3D was a big thing. All right, Son of Mask had probably just came out. and everyone was dying for it.
Well,
So
okay. So Garfield the movie was released in 2004. The budget was $50 million. It was given so many negative reviews by critics, they thought that it was going to be a complete flop and make nothing. Despite this, audiences still went to see it, and it grossed $200 million. And then spawned a sequel, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, 2 years after.
Dude, I remember a time when these two movies would be playing on Cartoon Network like every day.
Yeah, and that was called the Golden Era.
That was called the Golden Age before Garfield summoned the eclipse with his Bayleth.
I really
Or
don't
would it
have...
be John? I feel like John would be the Griffith of this story.
Okay, so you guys want to know how this movie made so much money?
Yes.
1, because it's Garfield. 2, absolutely fucking loaded cast.
Oh, it was insane. They had, Bill Murray, they had Jennifer Love Hewitt,
Nick Cannon, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep, Nick Cannon, Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, yeah, they loaded this cast up.
But
I was gonna ask who played John, but then I go to the IMDb page and he's just a no-name actor, I guess.
Breckin Meyer or Brecken?
Breckenmeyer, I guess.
Breckenmeyer. Bill Murray, on record has said like he didn't want to do the movie, but then he still came back and did the second movie.
Yeah, well.
Interesting.
You know,
I feel like that was a weird time with Bill Murray though, because he was like kind of a weird point where he wasn't super relevant.
Was he in debt?
Probably. That's what I mean. Because
I
feel like he was like really popular before this movie, and then leading up to this movie, he kind of had a bare spot, and then he was like famous like a couple years after this movie again.
How did Life Aquatic do? I was gonna say, how did Life Aquatic do in the box office? Because that came out between these two movies, and that could explain a lot.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, so probably not.
Bill Murray made a movie called Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Oh. That's why he came back, boys.
Huh.
The budget for Life Aquatic was $50 million, and it made $34.8 million.
Oh.
So, I'm sure he got paid, but...
I mean, to be fair, Garfield, quadrupled.
Oh,
how much did A Tale of Two Kitties make?
Probably not a lot.
I didn't get the stats.
It doubled. It doubled. It cost $60 million, and it made $141.7.
Here's the thing, too. Tale of Two Kitties was a straight-to-DVD release.
You're probably not. You're probably correct. I just remember seeing ads for it all over, and
yeah, but back
I would have thought it got a theatrical release.
We still got a lot of trailers for stuff that went straight to movies.
That's fair.
But I don't really have anything else to say too much on these movies. I mean, the plots were very basic, and to me were kind of bland.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of just a jumbled mess, especially the second one. So, if we want, let's just... Razzies. Yeah, but Razzies are like one of those like, wow, you were so bad, you're good.
Yeah. It won worst excuse for a family movie and worst sequel/prequel.
I believe it has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's higher than I would give it.
I've never seen these movies. I was always a Garfield and Friends kind of guy as a kid.
What about Garfield Pet Force featuring Garzuka?
I don't remember that.
It was a really weird, like, 3D-ish animated thing, and Garzuka's like this really buff, sexy Garfield.
So there's one of the writers on A Tale of Two Kitties is named Joel Cohen, and I thought it was one of the Coen brothers.
No, that's that's probably, maybe that's why Bill Murray came back. He's like, oh, one of the Coen brothers is doing this? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would have been like. There's a Coen brother writing this movie. And then he found out that it wasn't.
He's like, well, I'm in too deep already. Fuck. Just gonna go through with it.
That's not a bad excuse. But, so I know, Quentin, you've talked to us a couple times outside of this, obviously, about all this weird shit that the internet has started to spawn. You want to elaborate a bit for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna start off light, and then we're gonna slowly work our way into the weirder and weirder stuff of Garfield.
I know you told me to look up Lasagna Cat, and I could not bring myself to actually watch it.
Oh, dude, it's fucking great.
You should have watched the 4-hour one.
4.5 hours.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. So anyways, though, we're going to start with some light stuff. This is called Garf Gab. You can find it on YouTube. This god, I should say, has a mission. That mission is to go through and review every single episode of Garfield and Friends. Every single episode of every season, he does a different review.
How many seasons of Garfield and Friends were there?
That's a good question.
Let's see. But that's dedication, I guess. That's oof. You know, I've joked about doing stuff like that, but I don't think it's 7. There's 7 seasons. 124, 121 full episodes.
Yeah. That's fucking nuts. Don't mention U.S. Acres around him. He fucking hates U.S. Acres.
Okay, what is this? What's the story with this? I don't know anything about U.S. Acres.
U.S. Acres is just another comic strip by Jim Davis, where it features these characters on a farm. I'm trying to think of some of their names off the top of my head. You might recognize there's the one, the chicken in a shell
is
with
this the
the
pig
legs
from Garfield and Friends is from?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I just googled it real quick.
Yeah, U.S. Acres. It's
This looks like the proto barnyard.
right, like back on the barnyard. Kinda, honestly. It's just not
interesting.
That good, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really I don't hate it, but I just know a lot of people just fucking hate a lot of the characters from it, and they think it's bad. Or maybe it's just
I'm reading
a big
one of the
meme in the
I'm
Garfield
reading one of the
community.
strips right now, and it doesn't make sense. None of these. This just looks dumb and bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's that's dedication, I guess.
Yeah.
I have a minor one, if you don't mind me interjecting with
absolutely.
something. Do you know about Fist of the Borf Star?
No.
Because I would be remiss if I didn't mention it, because I was obsessed with it for about 6 months.
What is
It's
that?
a redrawing and retelling of Fist of the North Star, but it starts out with just Garfield characters. Like John Arbuckle is Kenshiro, and Garfield is the villain who I never got that far in Fist of the North Star. But then it slowly becomes every Sunday Funny is involved in this universe, to the point where I'm pretty sure, I don't remember who it is. I think it's Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, sacrifices himself to save John. But it's just some dude just drew all these in MS Paint, and then the best part is it's all text-to-speech voice audio.
Oh my.
So you'll just hear things like, "Your reign of terror is over, Garfarter." And it's very good.
This is the content I log on to the internet for.
There's a whole wiki that I'm looking at the moment, and I'm just looking at the page for John Arbuckle. And there's aliases like Jorn, Jog, Joan, Jom, Junk, Jock. Relatives, Garfield, possible brother.
I think, isn't Garfield like, I thought that was like a 4chan thing.
Maybe that's where it came from.
If I'm not mistaken.
But, yeah, I think the Garfield thing was a 4chan thing, but I think they started taking from that. And then it's Waldo is apparently involved at some point. It's a whole thing, dude. Charlie Brown is a main character. I forgot about that.
Jeez. So on to our next. I guess we might as well talk about Garfield since it was brought up. Spelled Garfielf. It's very crude MS Paint redrawings of Garfield strips. Also featuring the VoiceForge text. So, yeah, that's probably where they got the inspiration from, was just from Garfield, I'd have to assume. Anyways, it's basically what Tim just said, but very shitty MS Paint Garfield drawings.
It's
also
great.
Pretty entertaining.
Dude, anything you can like make shitty MS Paint drawings and put VoiceForge behind, I'm so happy about. It makes me so... I love it.
Another good Garfield recreation. Garfield minus Garfield. This is a website where they post Garfield comic strips without Garfield.
I went through this and read so many the other night because I found them so funny. Because John just seems like a depressed piece of crap. If Garfield's not there, because he just like complains all the time, like to himself,
right? Or
it's like he has a split personality disorder thing when he actually comments about Garfield and no one's there. It's weird.
It's a direct quote from the website, actually. Says, it is a journey deep into the mind of an isolated young everyman as he fights a losing battle against loneliness and depression in a quiet American suburb.
Hell yeah, dude. I think I've seen some of these. I've never actually like looked into them, but I feel like I've seen them in passing, and it's just
they're good.
It
it's
is
funny.
that.
It's a. I want to say it's a maybe daily upload site where you go on it and it posts a different one every day or whatever. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure.
Do we want to talk about, real quick before we get into the big one, do we want to talk about Garfield Eats?
Oh my god. How the fuck did I forget about Garfield Eats?
I don't know, but I just remembered because I was going to make a Garfuccino joke.
I was going to say, you want a fucking Garfuccino, my guy?
But, so, Garfield Eats is this restaurant / app?
In Canada, right?
In Canada that is supposed to be, like, responsibly sourced food. And they got Jim Davis to do an ad for them, and it's really fucking weird. It just... I don't know how to describe how it makes me feel, but it's just like this guy. It's Jim Davis sitting in a chair with a cat, I think, and he's just talking about how like Garfield loves lasagna for 40 years, and now you too can eat the ideal lasagna, along with a Garfuccino and Garfield cookies or something. I don't know.
Well, there's a pizza that's shaped like his face.
Yeah, right. That's it.
There's a Garf-shaped pizza. There's a. I'm trying to think. I can't remember all of the items.
Yes,
Garfield Twitter lost their shit when this happened. Okay.
This is a great
Jim
website,
Davis sitting
though.
in a chair. It's him sitting in a chair with an orange Garfield Eats apron, holding a Garfield plushie, while Garfield strips play in the background. And that's the official ad for Garfield Eats.
Garfield
He's just
Eats.
talking about... Oh boy. But yeah, it's only available in Canada, which was a big bummer. Then there was Garfield Go, which I think was a money laundering scheme. Same with, what was the one that you could get gift cards from? Was that Garfield Go? But
I think so.
I think you could, because I think you could get like Garfield points and then redeem them for like gift cards and shit. And I legitimately think it was like a money laundering scheme. Because I can't think of any other reason someone would make that. There's Garfield, like, the Garfield kart racing thing.
Garf Kart?
Yeah.
I think it's just called Garfield Kart Racing, actually.
It's just like a bad Mario Maker, or not Mario Maker, Mario Kart.
I think you mean Mario Kart is a bad Garfield kart.
I don't know, man. Have you seen gameplay from this?
Yeah, it's pretty next level stuff. Why do you think they remade it for the Switch?
Did they really?
I am almost 98% sure it did get remade.
I just want to point out while you're looking that up, possibly, that you should you should go online, Google Garfield Eats, and go to the images page, because there is a beautiful image of Guy Fieri fused with Garfield.
That's where you got that picture from?
Sure did.
That's from the fucking website? Oh my god. John just posted that in our...
It's from the image search. Or I just clicked on images. But like,
Dude,
if you look up Garfield Eats and you go to images, it is like maybe in the top 10 images. That's all you have to type in.
So it is on the Switch, and I just want to read the it's not even important, but I just want to read the product description on the official Nintendo website. Garfield, the famous lasagna-loving cat, is back to take on John, Odie, and company in a no-holds-barred racing game. Choose your character and card according to their characteristics and your driving style. Get off the starting line first and control skids to outrun your opponents. Use crazy objects like the pillow, capitalized, or the magic wand, also capitalized, to gain the edge and get over the finishing line first. Are you lazy like Garfield? Take shortcuts to overtake the other racers with the capitalized spring. Race your friends in local mode or online with up to 8 players on 16 iconic circuits from the world of Garfield. Because,
iconic!
There's very iconic racetracks that are established in the Garfield comic universe.
Jesus fuck. The Indianapolis 500. Just going around in circles in my Garf cart.
You can be one of the mice who barely can see over the wheel.
It's a good game.
Dude, these 3D models look
good? Yeah.
Particularly like they were just made in Blender in a day.
Probably were. All right, so let's get to our last of the internet.
Yeah,
weird,
maybe get back on topic, huh?
Yeah,
I guess we were on topic.
We're still talking about Garfield. Anyway,
we were on topic the whole time. We were just kind of derailed a little bit off of.
Listen, you can't be on the rails when you're in a kart racing game.
Fuck off. Last but not least, we have Lasagna Cat. Probably one of the fucking most ridiculous web series I have ever seen. And I've seen a few weird web series in my day.
Didn't I tell you about Lasagna Cat, or am I imagining things?
I think either you did or one of my old friends from my job told me.
Yeah, I feel like I remember us like hanging out at one point. I was like, dude, have you seen Lasagna Cat? And I don't remember if you said yes or no, but
I don't remember. Maybe.
It was wild.
I didn't know what Lasagna Cat really was at the time, but over the past couple weeks, I've learned the meaning of Lasagna Cat, and it's fucking insane. Anyways, this is a web series made by Fatal Farms, who have worked on Adult Swim content.
Makes sense now.
Most specifically, I know they've made some of the late night bumps. I don't know what other things they've done for Adult Swim, but I know they've done bumps for them. Just for a little context of like how ridiculous this whole Lasagna Cat is. It could definitely fit on Adult Swim late at night.
Like if they got that show that was just like really weird images with music playing under it for 15 minutes, this could get on.
Yeah.
I don't know how copyright would handle it, but this is something that would fit right in.
So, 11 years ago, they mass uploaded live recreations of classic 3-panel Garfield strips with a man dressed as John and someone in a Garfield suit and someone in an Odie suit. I think it's notable to point out that the Odie suit is fucking disgusting looking.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to explain it. I really want the listeners to just go and look into this themselves because it's fucking ridiculous.
Well, I think I'm gonna start an Instagram for this podcast.
Please
so if
post
you
a picture of Odie.
Yeah. So if you send me a picture of it, I'll start up an Insta and we'll get people on there that can see this.
Okay, good. So they go through, they recreate the 3-panel strip, and it's followed by an obnoxious laugh track and some sort of crazy visuals in the form of a music video or a skit. Real quick, you guys know what the laugh track is there for?
To end the third strip?
No. So the reason for the laugh track is like how they do it in like sitcoms and stuff, where it's supposed to show that, like this isn't really that funny, but then the laugh track makes it funny. If that makes sense.
Like the Big No Bongo theory.
Yeah.
It's like Fuller
Have you
House.
ever seen that video?
Yeah. Full House.
Or
Big Bang Theory, Full House, shows like that. Those
Friends.
are like real bad about laugh tracks.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't think Friends is funny.
Don't even bring up Friends. We're not even talking about that. Keep going.
The underlying message that Lasagna Cat is trying to give us is that Garfield isn't actually that funny. Throughout the series, this all culminates into a 4.5-hour long video where through context clues, we were able to decipher the message the creators are trying to give us through this crazy imagery. And I'm kind of like, I'll give you a very abridged version because it goes so fucking deep that it would literally take, like, you can go on YouTube and you can find 40-minute long explanation videos for this web series.
Wow.
Which I have watched. Because I am in control of my life. Anyways, so basically, the 4.5-hour long video, the last 7 minutes of it are where it gets fucking nuts. There is this scene where John is given a briefcase, and he's going home on the bus. He opens the briefcase, and it is a taxidermied tabby cat that kind of looks like Garfield, I guess. But mind you, this is all live action, so this is like a real taxidermy cat. What this is supposed to represent is that the joke of Garfield got old and is dead. That's what that taxidermy cat represents.
Wow.
Yeah.
They went kind of up and beyond with their imagery to get their message across.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking insane. After this scene, it cuts to John being I don't remember if he like kind of poofs up in the desert or something, or if he's teleported or how it works exactly. But he ends up in a desert, and then there's this man in like this tribal, I want to say like, war paint, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it. And it's all like Garfield colors. So this man is supposed to be Garfield. I don't really know what this represents, but then it cuts to a scene where a girl is giving birth in a bathroom, and the girl gets the baby out, and it's in the toilet, and it is wearing the same clothes as John Arbuckle. And then an orange cat appears, and then the girl starts speaking in Polish. Very abridged version of what she says is, "This child is not mine. I have brought a curse onto the world. I'm going to ask for forgiveness, even though I know I will not get it." There's a lot more that she says, but that's mostly the important part.
Wow.
And this is supposed to be something about, like, just the cycle of Garfield or something. I don't know. I was like, okay. So yeah, that's the last 7 minutes of the 4.5 hour video.
Holy shit. I thought that was the entire 4-hour video.
Nope,
And
that's just the last 7 minutes.
Well, the first like
yeah, the
3
first
hours or
the first 4 hours and 23 minutes are mannequins knocking on the door and saying their name and how many sexual partners they've had. And then that gets turned into a 3-panel strip, and then the process just repeats, which is showing how Jim Davis just does the exact same thing for all of his 3-panel strips. Because if you look in like a 6-month period, the only thing that really changes in a lot of Garfield strips is the background color. The characters will be in the same position. The only thing that's different is they'll be saying something else.
Wow. I mean, I can both see him being lazy in doing that, but also, like, I feel like coincidentally, you'd probably end up getting into a routine of just drawing them in the same areas or similar positions.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I still fucking love Garfield, and I mean, I get what they're trying to do with it. I think it's really good. I think it's really well done, but you can't convince me that Garfield's not good, you bastards. But I would suggest that everybody kind of looks into Lasagna Cat a little bit, because it's a very interesting deep dive you can get into. And with that, I think I am done blabbering about the weird internet bullshit that our favorite lasagna lover has birthed.
Well, I think that also wraps up our main topic. We talked about our lazy orange friend. We also talked about his creator and all the mess that the internet has pulled from this comic over the years. So, unless you guys have anything to add before we finish up, we'll just start wrapping up the episode, I suppose.
I think I've made my peace with Garfield.
I think I've made my peace with God. I'm ready to die.
All right, well, whenever we upload this, everyone, Tim is dead.
If you play this podcast backwards, John says, Tim is dead.
Tim is dead, and now Mitt is back. So,
hey guys, it's me, Mitt Romney.
Oh.
After my lost presidential bid, I've been forced to get into podcasting.
Real quick, actually, I have one small thing to add. That Mitt Romney comment reminded me that when Mike Pence was still in Congress for Indiana, he tried to make Garfield's birthday a state holiday.
Wasn't that part of a filibuster?
I think so.
Because I feel like I remember him reading an entire
There was
thing.
also there was during a filibuster.
I'm thinking of Ted Cruz.
Okay, no, but there was one time he made floor give wish Garfield a happy birthday one time. That was also a thing.
I
Mike
thought
Pence
that was part of the filibuster, but I could be wrong. I was thinking specifically of that time that Ted Cruz read his daughters a bedtime story from the floor of the Senate.
Jesus fuck. Yeah, no.
That is very interesting. So I guess Quentin, just keep on talking. Tell us about your recommendations this week.
Oh, I'm sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Well, I was just going to say, just keep on talking and tell us about your recommendations for the week.
Recommendations.
I'm trying to remember. Sorry.
No, okay. Good. I can do mine first if you want.
No, I got it now. So I have two, I guess, technically speaking. These are both going to be channels where you can find explanations for Lasagna Cat. The first one is Inside a Mind, which I actually talked about on the Backdash last week. That's a pretty good YouTube channel that'll go into a lot of weird internet bullshit, which is what I recommend a lot. And the other channel that you can catch this explanation on is called Night Mind. The Night Mind one is 40 minutes long, and it goes really deep, but it's really fucking interesting, so I highly recommend it.
Well, now, recommendations. Tim, now it's your turn for your recommendations.
This week, I'm recommending a real play podcast where people play games and roll dice and tell stories and fun things. This one specifically is called Very Random Encounters. The twist of the show, if you will, is that almost everything is randomized to some degree. Their characters' names, what races, a class they play. I'm just talking off of the first arc, I guess, of D&D that they played. All the enemies and the story itself were rolled off of tables that the showrunner made. And they even, in the early days at least, because I was still listening to the very beginning of the podcast, I don't know if this continues, but I assume it does, they will take videos on Twitter that people send them of people rolling dice on their own and use those dice rolls instead of them doing them live. Or they'll just put them into a thing and then roll which one they get off of that. So, that's fun. They had a dog do one in the last episode I listened to. So, go give them a listen. They're on pretty much everything. I think that I'm listening to them on SoundCloud, so that's Very Random Encounters.
Cool. Well, my recommendation for the week is going to be Found Flicks. I just started watching him on YouTube. He goes over story plots and endings of movies that are relative, usually they're pretty, you gotta really watch to pay attention to certain things. He goes over a lot of, suspense, thrillers, psychological stuff, and, horror movies. But there's some other other type of movies he does too. But that is my recommendation for the week.
I actually do watch that channel sometimes, so I'll vouch for it being very good.
I really like him. I enjoy his content quite a bit.
I mean, it's better than CinemaSins by a fucking mile and a half. So.
Yeah. So now we'll go over to plugs. Tim, what you plugging this week?
My ass. Oh, I'm going to plug the other podcast me and Quentin do, The Backdash. It's a gaming week in review style podcast where we talk about news in the gaming world, the entertainment world, comics, pretty much anything we feel like. Go give us a listen on whatever platform you want. I'll put a hyperlink in the description of this episode. You can just go ahead and give that a click. Much appreciated. And my one letter this week for my social media handle is... This week is brought to you by the letter A.
All right.
A as in...
Anus.
Abadonga.
ABBA.
Abba.
The ABBA stalker.
You can find me on twitter.com/Applebee's is okay. It's where I post funny funs. And if you DM me, I'll send you to the good old Garfield Twitter accounts. Because I follow too many of those.
This week I'm plugging my Instagram like I usually do, which I think Tim's been putting a hyperlink in, and it's just John Mergenthaler, my name. The other thing I'm going to plug is the same thing I did last week, which is the Nightmare Notes, which is a podcast that I do with one of our friends, Joey, and our friend and my wife, Carly. This week we're going to do an episode set in LA. About some creepy stories, mixed between creepypastas and some murders. So give that a listen. And I think that brings us to our conclusion, guys. I think we're all done for this week. Next week, I think we're either going to do our first mini-sode, or if we can find enough content for you guys out there, we're going to do a full episode. But it's going to be on the very elusive Loveland Frogman.
Dude, it's the scariest cryptid you've ever heard of. He has a wand. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're just gonna leave it at that. He's got a wand.
He's got a wand. That's all you need to know.
So we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.